Window Without a Wall actually began in New York. It's a work unintended. I was on my residency in New York City in 2015, and I was just a week old when I met someone who pasted a poem of Ezra Pound, a modified version of Ezra Pound, on my apartment window. And my instinct was, the first reaction was, after 2 days I'm going to rip this off. I like the apartment clean. I don't want any stickers or posters there. But somehow the poem stayed on. It stayed on that last pane, and I figured that after a week or two I would just come look at that thing, peep out of my window, and the poem would be still there, and I would look through the poem at New York City, right in Manhattan, gazing at those stars, skyscrapers through that poem. And this went on. A month passed by, 2 months passed by, and time and again I would come look at the window, look through the window, and would notice, okay, the poem stays on. And I started photographing New York through that poem, looking through that window. And interestingly, I noticed in a couple of months, the words had departed from the given place, as the time went by, as the seasons changed. The words started moving, which was really intrigued for me. They started, leaving the given place, like the alphabets would just, I felt like they were just walking out of that area, and they were opening up, ready for some new verse, new poetry, new prose, I don't know what. And this kept on happening, and towards the end, when I was leaving, I felt that this window, this poem there, which was so intact when it was just placed, but now it has moved, it's ready to form a new verse. It had departed from the architecture and the grammar of that given space, element, time, poem. And I think it became a metaphor for what had happened to me while I was on my fellowship. The installation consists of 2 windows from New York with poems on them, whose metamorphosis is frozen within that gallery space. There are 2 videos on either side, which are images, moods, and textures that I encountered during my time in New York. I started working with architect Naveen Mahantesh on conceptualizing the entire scenography. I have my certain beliefs, and then Naveen, being an architect, has his own ideas. Architecture has some different kinds of processes, like the how will people inhabit it, how they will look at it, how will they will access the space. Whereas I was more concerned, like how will people relate to the poem, but like, will they really understand what's happening? Will they understand this passage of time that we're trying to create? The building itself was very interesting, I felt. We created a paper maquette, and we were trying to see how people will roam around the space, and where should be the opening, and how should be the lighting. So the whole thing is very dramatic. I feel like where you become a viewer, you become something more. You start, it becomes like a nice circus. I felt you can inhabit it when it's constructed, and the whole essence comes when you are in it.